Will is back with me in studio. Will, how you doing?
A friend of mine has bought tickets for the 29th, and I had to stress them. I probably could have got them in the office for free, or we could have went along anyway. But such is the intensity of the ticket purchasing that I've been purchased a ticket for the 29th.
You're always on the make, aren't you? You selling them for €15, is it? And get them free yourself. Discount.
I'd like to think, being a friend of the show and so on, I could have definitely been accommodated on the guest list of some form. But
Cian Fahey is with us as well, all the way from beautiful Cork. Cian, how are you?
This must be a regular on-air privilege that you get here. I've got offered no free tickets for anything, Will, so I'll have to give you a call after this to see if I can get in.
You don't get offered them. You kind of mooch around and ask a few questions, and tends to be what happens, Cian is with us
just
because...
linger for a little too long, is it?
Yeah, Cian is very much in charge, very much kind of takes ownership of our digital output, and especially like how those things do. We have these things called analytics that we look into to see how things perform, and wanted to, it being towards the end of the year, Cian signing off for Christmas, and wanted to talk to us about the clips, the social media clips from Off the Ball that did the best this year. Is that the best way of putting it? If in our cold analytical world,
highest performers.
Let's just call them the clips that resonated most with the public.
The clips that make us look best is what we're really going for here. Yeah, no, it's a selection of some of our highest performing clips, and like the great thing about this job and this role that I have here anyway is we always know what the audience wants, and we always know what they want to hear and they want to listen to, because we see the numbers on it and we see the impact and what it has. And there's just a couple of them here. I don't make. Do you want me to jump into the first one straight away?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, no, I do like the idea. I've worked digital for a while back, in between my off the ball stints, and the constant analytics are very nice, because waiting 3 months for Jane Laura's to see if people hate you or not.
Dare I suggest
not,
it might
not
be
as easy.
Might be slightly more accurate than the Jane Laura's as well. But anyway, go on.
No, we had a good one recently.
Actually...
So the last one was good. So
the last one was a fine book.
Yeah, really accurate, really good. Sometimes though, come to me next time and we'll argue it. Go on, sorry, Cian.
The first one on the list here is kind of actually Owen Sheehan deserves a huge amount of credit for this, because months before it happened, he contacted me and was saying, I'm trying to get this big name fella in for an interview and I need a little bit of evidence to try and back it up and vouch for him and get him in. And turned out that person turned out to be Paul Mescal, which is a pretty big name, and it was a pretty gigantic interview for us. So Emma, if you want to roll the first clip there.
The same as you, the GAA defeats for as a Kerry man sting me the most.
I mean, yeah, but you have a good few victories. Think about being a Kildare man. I remember going to the All-Ireland semi-final when we were beaten by Down. The big sickener was Kildare losing Kieran McGeeney.
How did that happen?
You can ask Kildare County Board about that, because I have no idea what in God's name happened. Well, I know it was the clubs that came up against McGeeney, and I think watching him, I weirdly felt a massive sense of pride watching the Armagh footballers this year, where I was
really?
Yeah, because I think the amount of work that went in, that's a 10-year plan, and Kildare had gotten about 5 years into it. That was totally on the table with that. You saw how much the players bought into him, both in Armagh and also in Kildare, that I think losing the Ireland semi-final was a stepping stone, and I just think Kildare weren't ambitious enough to keep him on.
Yeah. Paul Mescal, very interesting thing. I love the how real. It's ultimately just a Kildare GA fan behind it all. But to people who don't know how those junkets work, he was doing a launch for Gladiator 2, obviously, and everybody can get a little bit of time. That's just sort of that they want them out as much as possible. They've got them for a day, maybe 2 days, and in Ireland in this market, and they'll put them out as much as they can. But you kind of get 4 minutes. And it is what it is, whereas Owen had set that up, met him out in the stands in Croke Park, 20 minutes full on, you had to be there. And what I loved is just how completely present Mescal was for it. This is what he wanted to be talking about.
I know,
you know what I mean? Yeah, promote the film, but come here, let's get into McGeady.
Yeah. After doing the roulette of interviews that he would have done on that day.
Yeah.
And I think the previous night was the premiere as well, which I'm sure he'd do loads of media, loads of interviews around that as well, everything he'd done internationally, and was incredibly good with his time. And I thought incredibly giving with his interview as well. John Fardy here on News Talk said it was the exact same, that he was worried that he was last person up on day 3 of media, and thought, this guy's done 20 or 30 of these sit-downs at this stage. Yeah. He's going to phone it in. He's going to say, look, Denzel was great to work with.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott's a great director, and you get all that. He said that he was entirely engaged the whole time.
Yeah, he's a good guy as well. It's like he went to the same school as my sister. I remember I turns out I saw him in his school play and didn't know about it until years later.
You never knew he'd be in a sausage ad later.
So I always knew he's a good guy, but then I didn't realise he's also a Clare hurling fan. So like, I mean, Paul Mescal, I've got your stock. I'm going to all your movies. Cian, what's next?
There's a big thing happening with Timothée Chalamet in America, just similar right now, where people are discovering he's not this uptight artist fella. He's this actually a massive sports fan. That was the thing that kind of stood out with me with Mescal, because when he started talking about the Kildare stuff, because obviously he talked about the rugby stuff, and rugby stuff was like, everyone knows that. Once he started talking about the Kildare stuff and like the supporting McGeeney away from Kildare, it was like, oh, right, you're actually living and dying by these sports the same way we are. You just happen to be this really handsome Hollywood actor fella as well in your spare time. The next one is this is one interview, one clip, but it's kind of more representative of a larger sample of things that we did. We sent Jar Owen over to the Olympics in Paris when they were on, and he was doing a bunch of interviews over there. He started off with Shane Lowry and Sarah Lavin, and they were phenomenal. He got a sit down with Shane Lowry for 10 minutes, and Lavin was talking about Craig Breen and the emotions of all that. And then he had Mona McSharry as well. But the one that did like the biggest numbers, the one that stood out the most, was getting Daniel Whiffen's parents as soon as he had just won his gold medal and won the race. And the emotion in the interview is just, I think the older you get, the more you feel like that's the dream, having your child win something like that rather than having you win something like that. So Emma, if you want to roll that.
This is one of the greatest moments of your lives, but I don't know yet if you guys have heard, but so we were in the press conference afterwards, and Daniel said that in the whole arena of 17,000 people, the only voice that he could hear when he walked out was Nathan's. Really? Have you heard this yet?
No, I haven't.
No, that's going to make me cry.
No, I haven't heard that at all.
He said that it made him calm down and put him right in the moment.
Well, I mean, that's just unbelievable. They always say there's a twin connection, but you never really know what it means. But he says when one of them feels unwell, the other one feels that they're unwell.
What were your emotions like during the race?
To be fair, we've been that busy today. It was lovely. We had a family lunch, and it was just nice. Daniel rang and spoke to Nathan on a couple of times, spoke to us, and then we got ready to come here. We were all quite calm. It was amazing. I had a little wobble halfway through that race, I have to say. I didn't know it was quite going to be as tight as it was at the end, but everyone believed in him, and I did too. So,
what was your take on the last 100 in particular?
I think the last couple of lengths, we were all on our feet shouting and cheering, and all we wanted to do was just willing him. At one point he'd sort of dropped back behind again to Paltineri, and I was just like, him and Fink and Paltineri were always going to be that race at the end, and it gave us that race that we wanted. They love to race, all three of them, and long may it continue.
Well, listen, you've got a son who's an Olympic champion. How does it feel?
Amazing. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it.
Congratulations, you really deserve it. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Heartwarming stuff. The Whiffens, the sporting family of 2024.
Yeah, even to the
Irish
point that
family.
Daniel decided he wasn't going to swim in the European short course, still went across and did photography, taking pictures of his twin brother competing at the same time. So they are kind of built a little bit differently, Mick. And this is a guy who was so confident going into that 800 metres final. Seemed convinced when he talked to us earlier in the year that actually 1500 metres is where he was going to win his medal as opposed to 800. Then smashed it out with the pool. And I thought the pool was one of the big winners for the Olympics more generally, because Marchand captured the imagination of all the French fans by winning 4 gold medals across 6 days.
It was unreal.
For Whiffen, look, a breakthrough. First ever male gold medalist we've had in swimming ever in the history of this country. So remarkable stuff.
It was class. And I think, Cian, what'll be interesting in terms of what you're bringing us here, in terms of what people want and so on, is like, it is that instant reaction that tends to sort of feed the beast.
Absolutely, and Jar had a bunch of different things with the rowing as well there. And one thing that lingers with me from that time as well is not really something we can play on the radio now. Was the lads from Skibbereen singing after the rowers won, and it's just one of these pure, proper. And look, not to do this kind of self-centered claiming things, but it's a proper Irish thing of like, let's have a sing song as soon as something great has happened. I felt like, and you're doing that in a different country, a group of you together, you all know each other. But the further element to that is, I don't know if you guys have seen the viral clip at the moment of Charlie Woods getting his first hole-in-one, and he turns around and hugs Tiger, and you just see the beaming smile on his face. That kind of stuff is always just gonna work really well. I do wonder though, they talked about that twin connection. We could probably prove that if Nathan felt like crap while Daniel was doing the sea swim, as bad as he did it, because he bloody hated that afterwards. If you remember the post interview there.
It's like you have to pick and choose your events with the Olympics, and there's so much to watch and all, and it's like everyone's up watching that, and it's like, right, Daniel Whiffen, let's see, like, is he Superman? And you can kind of tell after like 10-15 minutes that there's no coming back from where he is, and then you're like, I'm sitting here watching, this is the most boring event of all time. They're just like swimming up against slimy walls in Paris for like 2 hours. It's like, no thanks. Still did watch it all though. Once you're in at that stage you're in, you have to see there's the whoever. The person I don't even remember, you see that they win.
I'm the same with the sailing. I know it only gets exciting right at the end, but sometimes you just watch them just bobbing along,
You're
kind of
just
slow as they
stuck
go
in it,
through.
yeah.
It's like, well,
not understanding why they're all going in different directions. Yeah,
indeed.
What's up next?
The Olympics is also great for highlighting your ignorance in certain sports, because I remember when Whiffen was doing the swimming and they were like, oh, he's great, he's going to win this easily, and for like the first half of it he wasn't doing that great, and then someone pointed out, oh yeah, he hasn't started using his legs yet. It's like, what? You've just gone halfway through and you haven't even used your legs? Well, the next one is this is a conversation that's been going on a bit on our social media for a while, and it's gone on throughout the summer and throughout the whole time that Damien Duff has been at the League of Ireland. We have a point from the weekend crew from Football Saturday up at the moment saying that Damien Duff is the biggest impact on the League of Ireland than anyone ever. Now, that's obviously up for debate, but if you're talking about numbers for us, previous years we wouldn't have done 1 million views on any clips, on a combined clips in a whole full year for our League of Ireland content, and this Damien Duff clip went over 1 million views on its own from a couple of weeks ago only after the awards, when Nathan cornered him and asked him about that Jose Mourinho promise that he made to his players.
Can I just ask you, the last time we saw was obviously the Jose Mourinho call. What happened next?
What happened next? I was told that it was 4 hours time difference to Istanbul.
So it was about 3 a.m. in Istanbul when you were calling
Yeah,
him.
but here, no issue. We didn't need to talk. The job was done. And the guys had the cheek to text me or ring me, I think, 2 days later when they're in the pub, the players, asking for their €500. So I had to revolute.
They stung you a few times this season.
Yeah, they've made an awful lot of, well, not made an awful lot of money. They've drank. I've put an awful lot of money, let's say, behind the bar, and they've drank it. Here it's part and parcel. We like going out with them. We're one big band of brothers. We've been called misfits, leftovers, whatever you want to call us. But when we go out, we party hard, and it costs probably quite a bit of money, and it's usually me that fits the bill.
There you go. Hope revenue aren't listing a few benefiting kinds there with Duffer. Although usually these things don't come, that doesn't come directly out of the manager's pocket,
No, I think revenue may be preoccupied with other sports at the moment.
That's what it seems like.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So Duffer's the big winner, Cian. I think that was our biggest clip of the year, and all of anything that we put out from Damien Duff seems to just capture that he is the Roy Keane in a way at the moment in terms of our stuff. But there was one more clip I know that you wanted to kind of talk about specifically.
Yeah, and this is going to be a longer clip, and I'm going to play in full, and for good reason, really. Back in May at the Bows game for Palestine, Charlotte Phillips was talking to Aisling, and Charlotte Phillips gave a very emotional, raw interview to Aisling, where you'll see her crying from the very start of it, with her grandparents standing next to each other, or next to her. This is a clip that's 100% worth finding online to see the video of as well, but the audio alone will move you, and it went all over the world. There's massive celebrities all across America sharing it from different clips of it and everything. So, but this is the full thing, and we'll just play out with this.
Charlotte Phillips, congratulations, and what an occasion here tonight in Dalymount. Goosebumps. Yeah. How was it for you out there? And introduce me to your grandparents too.
So I don't even know how to describe how it was out there. I cried 3 times on the field. These are my grandparents, Odette Davitt and George Davitt. They traveled here from Canada. I'm so happy they're here. They're actually Nakba and Naksa survivors. Wow. So that's 48 and 67. So traveling here today on Nakba Day, when they expelled them for the first and second time, they thought they would erase us as Palestinians. And here 76 years later, I'm here playing as their granddaughter, as part of the Palestinian national team, and they thought they would get rid of us, and they can't. This is proof of our existence. I love you guys.
Love you too, Habibi. We love you.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It is so emotional. Sorry, I'm getting emotional.
It's okay.
You can tell what it means to you to be out there tonight, and what a game you had.
Yeah.
Literally player of the match. I thought in my view you were incredible.
The bows are amazing. The bows are fantastic. Like, these girls are amazing competition and even better teammates, sports, and like they're fantastic. Up the bows, that's all I can say.
And for your grandparents, I'm sure you've learned a lot from them and everything that they've been through and the resilience that they've shown.
They've just shown me to be myself, be kind, and that's like who we are as Palestinians. We're resilient, we're kind, we know how to overcome obstacles, and we're proud. We're so proud of being Palestinian.
We are, yes. Yeah. Of our.
We would like to thank Ireland. Nobody did what Ireland did to us.
Not even Arab countries.
Not even Arab. Thank you very much, Ireland. We love you. We love you.
Ireland and the Irish people are so warm. Every time somebody says something to me, I just want to cry because we've never seen this in our lives. Never.
Ever. And they're like, you know, I can't even describe, thank you, I can't even describe how it means to be, like what it means to be here. I'm just so excited for them to be here.
Well done, Charlotte, honestly. And to see...
couldn't make it, so
I'm so happy they're here.
I said nothing will stop us. We'll be here.
To see you out there tonight and to see the Palestine flag flying high, the hundreds and thousands of them.
Never experienced this. Never in our lives. No.
And will you get it? No problem. Will you get a few days to explore Ireland now?
We have just one more day. We have to get back on Friday morning. But
we've been doing some exploring. The boats have set up so many amazing things. I want to, honestly, the hotel staff, the people we visited at the Book of Kells, everyone, like everywhere we go, we're welcomed like with open arms. It's amazing. The Irish people are our biggest. Like they're so. I don't even know how to describe it. I love them so much.
NTR said my second daughter and the oldest were planning to come to Ireland in October with her family, and the second one, she said, "Oh, I wish I were in Dublin. Next trip we'll go to Dublin, so to Ireland."
Brilliant. That's so nice to hear. And what is your hope for Palestine?
You want me to?
No, please do.
I hope that, like the Irish, I know the Irish have a long history of oppression, but they resisted and they found their liberation. I hope that we follow in Ireland's footsteps and gain our liberation.
Yeah, and I hope that the world see us as Palestinians through the Irish people, through their eyes. That's what I hope.
Thank you, Ireland. We love you.
Thank you so much. I'm delighted. You've got a win tonight, but tonight was much more than football.
Honestly, I forgot the score.
Yeah, exactly. Good woman, Charlotte. Well done. Thanks so much.
Yeah. And look, that reached so many people, and I think touched so many people as well. And, you know, like, without getting overly political, there's been a lot of nonsense and propaganda and accusations about what the Irish people are feeling or acting on over the last couple of weeks. People will know what I'm talking about. And I think that interview reveals what it is that the Irish people are actually supporting for the most part. It's a humanitarian thing. It's a you know, a support against the oppressed people and against the you know, the casual nature in which human life can be taken, you know. So I just think it's important to listen to people like that instead of listening to, you know, the nonsense that comes from state propaganda, let's just say.
Also scary as well how much the situation has deteriorated since then.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And things are getting no better. But I think that was an important clip to finish on, actually, Cian. Thanks for that.
I think, we always understand that we're just a sports show here and we delve into the very important aspects of sports, but once we transcend that as well, some of our best stuff comes from there, I find.
Great stuff. Well, listen, Cian, Fahey, thank you very much for bringing us that tonight. Happy Christmas to you. Will, thank you.
Cheers, Mick. Merry Christmas, Cian.